Hey guys, welcome back to Studio Time and another special episode regarding Terminator Dark Fate. And you're wondering why is this guy sitting here with the guitar on his lap? This is actually a Yamaha Grand Concert, to be precise, the GC32C. It's a beautiful Spanish guitar. And you're wondering why is this guy holding that? Well, we're going to use this for our next theme in the movie, and that's the theme for Dani. Dani is a Mexican girl who later becomes, in this Terminator movie, the heroine. I'm not going to say too much about it because it will be total spoiler alert. You have to see the film. But it takes place primarily in Mexico, and as we discussed in the theme spin-off in the previous episodes, I needed a lot of flavors from that area, and I really decided to use the guitar for that because it also works really nicely for the emotional parts. Now, I am not by far a great guitar player, but I do have fun playing guitar, and I've been playing guitar since my teens, and in my teens I was actually pretty good to a certain extent, and then I buried the guitar for many years and then dug it back up again. But you know, the muscles get a little older and they're not as good as they used to be. But I wanted to create something for her that was atmospheric in nature, but does remind us of the Terminator theme. So I came up with a bunch of chords that really underscore the emotional quality of it. Her theme primarily is in A minor, and A minor is like a great key to play in on a acoustic guitar because you have all these open strings and you can create these really nice cluster chords with nines in it, with a 9 and a third in it, so you have these half note clashes. So in this theme, the A is always in there. It's always in there, and then eventually it goes to the 5, which is very much that Spanish Latino quality. The 1 minor to the 5 major has a really nice flavor. So let me play you the chords that I came up with. This is the first chord. The second chord, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and then we make our way to the resolution. And here we have the E dominant 7. So the way that I wanted to play it, and that was a little tricky, was like with tempos going up and down, but also the dynamic going up and down. And I had to practice this so much until I get like a few versions that were right. And I still needed to do like a bunch of punch in and out recording. So this was the idea. And then we're back to the 1. It sounds terrible the way that I play it, also because I haven't been playing guitar for like almost like half a year, and you see my fingers really start hurting. But when we did record this in December last year, so it's almost a year ago, I practiced a lot of guitar, and actually it sounded pretty smooth back then. And so then there's the melody that will remind us a little bit of the Terminator. So that's her melody. It's very similar to the Terminator melody, but I really like doing this on guitar, and then I did a lot of sound design on it. So one of the things that I did was playing this opening chords, but playing it with my fingers like this, and this took a lot of practicing. Now I'm super bad at it. Before the camera roll, I was trying to get the same vibe, and I don't even get close. But I'm gonna embarrass myself, which I'm very good at. So basically what I did is basically alternating as quickly as I could with my fingers to create like this really nice rolling drony sound, which sounds roughly like this. So that's the idea. It sounds terrible right now, but it actually did somewhat sound okay like 9 months ago. And I'm gonna put the guitar away. So I was able to play these chords a little bit like that. And then I did a huge amount of sound design on it and created this really nice drones. And then on top of that, I would play these chords that I played to you earlier. And then on top of that, I would play the melody. All that sounded absolutely crap, what I just did. But 9 months ago, it somewhat sounded a whole lot better. So I'm actually now going to the mix session that I have here right now. And I'm gonna play you a few of these elements, how that worked out. And then after that, I'm gonna play you the whole thing. So this is actually one scene in the movie where she gets introduced for the first time, and that's when you hear this piece of music. So let's play a little bit of that sound designy, quick finger plucking that I just showed you. That sounds a whole lot better than what I just played, doesn't it? So I recorded it twice, one more pan to the left or one more pan to the right to get this really nice stereo effect, because the fingers never do the same thing over and over again. So you get this really interesting flushes left and right of sounds and finger movement and little squeaky chords and stuff like that. And then here we have the chords that I also just played for you. So they sounded like this. So also that sounds a whole lot better. And eventually we then get to the theme. Let's play a little bit of that. So that's the theme, like really snappy plates on the guitar. I really love that snappy effect that especially, you know, the great flamenco players really bring out in the guitar. I love that sound so much. So here we see a track where some sound design happens on top of some of these guitar elements. And we hear a little da 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 ba da 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 da. So we hear that a little bit in there. So this is like granulizing treatment of that guitar. And then here later in this theme, we hear a bunch of finger picking that I did. And I showed that in the previous video. They're all like split up because I cannot play this all at once. But if I split it up in 3 different parts, it sounds, well actually this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different parts. So I panned it left and right with one track in the center, and you get this really nice wide guitar-y sound. So actually the theme for her is all derived from this beautiful classic guitar. You know, try to use the advantage of working in a digital recording environment that even I'm not that great of a guitar player, but actually practicing a lot and just taking time in the whole recording process, you can record really interesting bits and create a great piece of music. Now, the reason why I wanted to show the crappy playing and how this is going to turn out is that I would really advise everybody out there to buy one or two just cheap instruments and just really try to use them in your advantage. You know, when you're recording. In the previous episodes, I showed you some of the recordings I did on strings. I mean, I was only barely playing 3-4 weeks of strings, and I was able to use them in that Terminator spin-off theme. And so it's so much fun, even if you don't really know what you're doing, you know, on an instrument, to make sounds with it, and you use it in the piece of music that you're working on. It's so much more fun than sitting in front of a computer all day with like manufactured sample libraries and to come up with music. So that's why I'm calling myself full contact composer, because I just love to play with real instruments, with real boxes, with synthesizers, banging on drums, playing guitars, bass guitars. It's just so much fun. So a little bit of explanation there, how this thing came together. And now I would really like you to play what this opening scene is when we see her for the first time. Here we go. Okay, so that was the explanation about Dani's theme that happens multiple times in the movie in this particular emotional setting, but it also happens in a more actionist setting and really big and over the top, and we'll also get to that in future episodes. So that was that for this one. Thank you very much. See you soon.